Good morning, America. Here is what I think we should be discussing, looking at the macrocosm of current events unfolding as I make this podcast. The entire federal bench is being filled with lifetime appointments to ultra-right-wing fanatics and extremists in order to carry out and support the policies of the rich and powerful, making a nonsense of separation of powers and the independence of the judiciary. We are in the midst of an unprecedented transfer of wealth from those who earn wages to those who own funds and assets via gigantic tax cuts to the billionaires, millionaires, and monolithic multinational corporations, vesting complete economic and political control of America into their hands, while creating a new economic and political aristocracy. We're dismembering all federal agencies that protect our environment, our public lands, our consumers, and our health, such as the EPA, the CDC, the CPA, and so forth. We are witnessing an attempt to rule by executive order with all real power invested in one man who represents only the super rich and his corporate donors, as well as himself and his family. We are looking at a real threat to reduce, minimize, and destroy the safety nets of Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, which are the very foundations of a civilized America and a public policy that has existed since the New Deal. We are watching ongoing threats to remaining agencies, institutions, and individuals that oppose this plutocratic takeover of American society without regard to any notion of the rule of law or even common decency. We are witnessing concerted attacks on a free and independent press without which no democratic society can possibly exist. We have watched populism encouraged, developed, and based on ignorance, bigotry, and anger used to enable a creep and a gruesome example of our worst human instincts as president, who utilizes undemocratic principles and Hitlerian rhetoric, undermining our Constitution as a means to control a paralytic population. In sum, a subterranean economic and political plutocracy has become a de facto reality as we race headlong into one-man rule defined by a president devoted to this ugly theology and his billionaire allies, whose sole intent is to divest all ordinary Americans of their human and civil rights and liberties, while ruling a government of the wealthy, by the wealthy, and for the wealthy. Just imagine I'm now in bed with Jesse Jackson and Michael Hayden, two people who I would seldom have any agreements with. To quote Jesse Jackson, this is a brazen expression of money power. As he wrote in the Chicago Tribune, this is an example of American plutocracy, just what I've been talking about. A government of the wealthy, by the wealthy, and for the wealthy, unquote. And Donald Trump just incredulously said last night that, and I quote, "There is and there are people at the highest levels of government that don't want to let America be America." I assume, inferring some kind of organized conspiracy against his father. Is this paranoia or a purpose? Michael Hayden, the former director of the CIA and NSA, has responded, quote, "Trump Jr.'s statement is a little scary. I mean that it is an appeal to the heart of autocracy. We're now seeing a constant attack, not just from the administration, but from other members of the Republican Party, attacking the institutions of American government. And it's those institutions, the rule of law, these processes that keep us a free people. So I can only implore all of you to get involved. Sign Tom Steyer's impeachment petition. Do whatever you can within the limits of sociality and legal action to oppose these people, because they are a clear and present danger to democracy. Thanks.